Hi, Kate. It's Anna Solomon, and I am going to just run through some things to remember about the ACT. I was going to make this a whole video that I shared with everybody, but I think this might be a little choppy. So let's see how it goes. All right, so we've been talking about the ACT this whole time. Just remember your strategies and stick with what you've been doing. This isn't the time to try anything wild and new, of course. All right, so let's just go piece by piece. For the English, I would recommend looking over that English sheet that we did. And I'm gonna, let's see if I can share it here. There we go. All right. So mostly remember that when you're looking at different answer choices, literally count the words if it's a grammar thing. All right. If they're asking you to come up with a meaning or something, well, that's different. But if it's straight grammar, you want to pick the shortest answer. All right. Because I know that was something that we talked about. And then the rest of this is the usual. If two answers do the same thing grammatically, cross them out because they can't both be right. So they must both be wrong. Remember that. So if you think two answers look equally good, they're probably equally wrong. So look at the other two and make absolutely sure. And I guess also just the idea that the English is a lot easier than we want it to be. They're not doing really intense concepts. They're not, digressing and then returning. It's pretty straightforward writing. So you don't want to overthink it. And that's what I was thinking with number 5 here, that similar ideas should be as close together as possible in a sentence or paragraph. You want to, if the word is describing something, it should be close to what it's describing. If the sentence is about something, it should be close to the other sentence that was about that thing too. All right. And then, all right, then we get to our vocab, and I think we're good for all of these. Affect is an action. Effect is a noun on the test. And then our itses, make sure that you don't mess up those. ITS is possessive. IT apostrophe S is it is. And ITS apostrophe, when do you use that? Absolutely never. That's right. So you never, ever pick that answer because it's always wrong, but it will be an answer choice. All right, then we had our sample sentences, and then we have our punctuation. So remember, a colon comes after a main idea and before a clarifying statement, which could be a sentence, but it doesn't have to be. A semicolon is the same thing as a period. A dash, this thing with the dash, a dash can be used 2 ways. 1 replaces a colon, and 2 replaces 2 commas. So that's what I'm doing in this actual sentence, right? I used a dash to replace a colon because the next piece of the sentence explains how it can be used 2 ways. And then the singular, and then just the apostrophes for possession. If it's a single thing, it'll be bag apostrophe S, girl apostrophe S. If it is a plural noun ending in S, then it'll be bags apostrophe. Sometimes looks a little odd, but that's correct. If it's multiple girls, it'll be girls apostrophe. And then plural noun not ending in S, you just treat that like the singular noun. So groups, group apostrophe S, all right? And that's the English section. So remember, when you're doing that section, you're not, don't rush, read through the passage, do the questions as you come to them, mark stuff up, look for the subjects and verbs, cross out answers you know are wrong, and that one should be a nice section. All right. Then we hit the math, everybody's favorite. So I'm going to share my screen again and pull up a math piece for you. So this is the vocab thing. And remember, with the math, you tend to be very, very good. You're good to go on the math. You've got the concepts. You make a couple of, goofy error type things. And the ways to not make goofy errors is to write stuff down. And that's basically it. Write stuff down. Write down the formula you're going to use before you plug stuff in. Then write it with the stuff plugged in. It feels painfully slow, but the slowness is part of it because it keeps you from doing anything to, from making a jump that you shouldn't. Actually, you know what? Let me stop sharing so I can look into your virtual eyes while we talk about the math section. There's also the idea of getting to the end of the section, not completely necessary. right? You don't want to sacrifice your accuracy in the beginning just so you can get to number 60. All right. If you get to number 50, I'll be delighted. And then for 51 through 60, do your best, because you can do those questions. I'm sure you can. It's just a question of how much time you'll have. Because remember, some of those questions take 2 seconds. Some of them take like a full-on minute just to do. So yeah, write things out, get to 50, and then 51 through 60, make sure you're bubbling something in, right? But it should be something like A and F. Those should be, go ahead and just pick those and stick to it. What else is there? Yep. And then use your calculator, don't be a hero. And then, okay, let's actually look at some concepts, but I'll be just a second.